let's start with Harvey, though, Andy. What, in your opinion, derailed his career? Was it injuries or ego?
I think there were a lot of factors, but the primary factor would be the thoracic outlet, it would seem, that followed the Tommy John. I mean, for everything else that was going on with that guy, and there was a lot going on, that was a hard thing physically to bounce back from, for sure.
Anthony, looking back, do you think it was the right call for Matt Harvey in 2015 to keep pitching?
So that's such a tough question for me to answer, because he's come out and said that he wanted to keep pitching. He won, he's glad that he did it, everything. For me, I think more about him and his career and the arc that it's taken. Obviously, this is Monday Morning Quarterback. This is looking back at it. But obviously, I would say, yeah, he probably shouldn't have. He probably should have stopped. Coming out into the 15th season, I think everybody thought he was healthy. It was just the amount of innings that he logged and what we ultimately went through that season, the whole postseason and all of that. I think that cost him in the long run, and I would have liked to have seen him shut it down a little bit earlier.
Yeah, these questions, I certainly agree that these are tough questions, ones like this, because they basically get to the question of what's more important, the moment, the opportunity in front of you, or the big picture in your career. And I guess that's for the individual to say. And Matt, I'm sure, spent a lot of time sitting around thinking about this over the past couple of years. So I would almost defer to whatever he might believe about that. I know it was better for the Mets for him to keep pitching, but certainly not better for his arm.
Anthony, had you been shut down in Matt Harvey's mindset, pitching as well as he was, how do you think he would have taken that? How do you think he would have, if they said no, even if you want to come back and pitch, you can't? How do you think that would have ended up?
I mean, I think obviously that wouldn't have been ideal. I think there would have been a shouting match publicly because he wasn't afraid to speak his mind. He might have gone onto Twitter, or his agent might have spoken up about it, whatever.
Scott Boras has been known to do that.
From time to time. I think there could have been an issue there, and I think that could have, obviously caused some problems within the clubhouse. But I think ultimately in the long run, I think most players would have seen that as okay, this guy, he's coming off a serious injury. This is a serious thing, and this is a guy who could make hundreds of millions of dollars in his career. Why would you jeopardize that now? I think players would absolutely understand that. I think you'd have a harder time necessarily explaining that to fans who weren't Mets fans. I think Mets fans, they'd be angry. But if he stays healthy and he stays on the same career arc that he was on, 16, 17, 18, they would not be angry about it. They would be very happy that they have that Matt Harvey pitching year after year after year for that team.